Now at 9, some good news for all the thrill seekers out there. Construction has finally finished at a popular outdoor area. We'll tell you what you can expect.
Plus, one veteran's home is getting a makeover just ahead. Find out how you can help.
We got some lingering showers in our area right now, but we do have a warm-up coming up. I have those full details coming up.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking coronavirus news. One of President Trump's closest aides testing positive for COVID-19. Good evening, I'm Lily Cedardall.
And I'm Logan Salzbrenner. A source confirming to the Associated Press, Hope Hicks has tested positive for the virus. Hicks serves as a counselor to the president. So far, she's the closest person to the president to test positive.
Hicks traveled with Trump to a rally yesterday and got the results today. She has been seen with him multiple times over the past few days, even traveling on Air Force One. It's unknown if the president has been tested. We'll bring you the latest tomorrow morning at 11:30 on NewsLink Indiana Midday. And back here at home, the latest coronavirus numbers tonight from Ball State. The university reporting 2 new student cases through the partnership with IU Health. BSU says 1 student case is either self-reported or comes from an outside source. No additional employee cases have been reported. The dashboard says there are an estimated 23 active cases and 1,007 cases have been reported since August 17th.
Researchers at Kansas University are rapidly working to develop an at-home rapid COVID-19 test. Jordan Betts reports.
It's an at-home COVID-19 test.
These little chips go into a machine, and the chip will actually take a saliva sample, and it'll pull out of that saliva sample the virus particles for COVID-19.
With test results within 15 minutes.
The patient gets as an idea of, ooh, they have viral particles in their saliva. They better get further testing.
Dr. Stephen Soper and his graduate students at KU are working around the clock to get this unique testing kit ready for FDA approval. That approval usually takes years, not anymore.
Because of this COVID-19, they want to get new diagnostic tests out onto the market very, very rapidly. So they're reducing that down to several months.
His students using this machine to test the chips. The thought is, while they are developing the handheld gadget, labs could use these machines to speed up testing.
8 devices in 15 minutes, that is like 32 devices in an hour. And if we have like 30 such machines, we can do up to like 30,000 devices, which means 30,000 tests a day.
The KU team is hoping anyone could buy an at-home kit in drugstores by next year, costing around $100, and testing chips selling for a few bucks.
That's part of an academician's job, either educating students or getting them involved in projects that can really make a difference. And that's what it's all about.
Clinical trials are the next step for this testing kit.
The second phase of testing for German company's COVID-19 vaccine has begun in Panama. 250 volunteers received the vaccine. Over the next 13 months, each volunteer will be evaluated by specialists to confirm safety in the dosage of the drug. All participants signed a consent form explaining possible side effects before being vaccinated. If any adverse reaction occurs, each volunteer has been covered by insurance policy.
And if the pandemic hasn't left you in the dirt, one place in Muncie definitely will.
For all those cheap thrill seekers, NewsLink Indiana's Brittany Dobbins has the details on where you can get an adrenaline run for free.
Exercising and getting outdoors are just a couple things you can do during the pandemic. And one place in Muncie to get outdoors is at the Prairie Creek Reservoir, where the Bike Trail Path project has just been completed.
Around 7 years ago
is when construction started for the trails, and the pandemic didn't help the process either at first, since the builder was from Ohio.
But then probably in mid-April we found out that there were other trail builders working in Indiana, and so I called him up and told him the situation, and he was happy to get back to work.
And a construction delay wasn't the only thing the pandemic caused.
There have been at least 83 people ride the segment
in just 1 month, and that's only counting cyclists that use the Strava app. Bradway says traffic at the trails increased because of the pandemic, and one of the best ways to be socially distant while being active is
getting in the woods is one of the best ways to do that. It's easy to stay away from each other on the trail as far as you need to be.
The trails altogether are 8 miles long and have different levels of difficulty.
We're talking about features that you would see on renowned trail systems.
When we visited the Prairie Creek Trails just a short year ago, one rider says,
The trails are a great asset to the community, and I think everyone who has a bicycle and a helmet needs to come out and enjoy them.
For more information on the bike trails, you can follow Mid-Indiana Trails on Facebook. In Muncie, Brittany Dobbins, NewsLink, Indiana.
Well, Lily, hopefully the weather will be nice so that more cyclists can try out these new trails. Ryan, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that maybe you want to hold off a little bit on that bike ride because it's going to be pretty chilly as we go through this weekend. But first, we're going to tell you that we do have some showers in these areas right now. They're lingering, so it's not going to be too much in the area of widespread rain. But we're going to look at those cool temperatures. The current temperature is 52 degrees in Indianapolis, 49 in Kokomo, and already down to 46 degrees in Fort Wayne. Now coming up, we do got the sunshine coming back in the area. We got those cool temperatures, and we got the 70s actually returning to our area. We have all those full details coming up.
Firefighters in Washington are working with a team that is out of this world to help slow the spread of the wildfires. SpaceX is letting first responders borrow terminals, allowing access to Starlink satellites. These satellites give the internet service where fires have destroyed a big part of the telecommunication infrastructure. Firefighters are using the service to organize their activities and request more resources. The satellites also bring internet to residents in areas too remote for reliable service without the satellites. There are currently hundreds of Starlink satellites in orbit. SpaceX hopes to have more than 40,000 of them in orbit in the next few years.
An American Airlines says it plans to furlough 19,000 employees on Thursday, but that may just be the beginning of possible job cuts. An analyst by CNN shows that 50,000 jobs may be on the line after failed attempts at federal aid. American CEO Doug Parker says the airline has no choice but to make cuts. Congress and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin considering a multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package with $25 billion set aside for help with the nation's airlines. Sources told CNN that the agreement needs more time to support and pass.
Passenger operations on cruise ships are suspended after the CDC extended the no-sail order. The previous order expired Wednesday. The suspension extended the order through October 31st because of growing coronavirus concerns. This includes any ship with a 250 passenger capacity in U.S. waters. The CDC says there have been more than 3,600 reported COVID-19 cases or COVID-like illnesses on cruise ships in U.S. waters since March 1st. A federal health official says the CDC tried to extend the order into next year but failed to get White House approval. Next, how the Muncie community has come together to help a veteran.
Plus, one popular store is closing many outlets across the country. Find out when we come back.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. A Muncie resident is getting some much-needed renovations to his house. NewsLink Indiana's Zach Jones shows us what they're doing to help.
It's all the brothers and people in the community helping you.
This is John Holliday, a combat veteran who has spent most of his life in Muncie fighting to keep his home.
I've been robbed 3 times there since I bought it. They broke my house and took stuff out. Then finally they put a dent in my garage and tried to get in.
John would usually be working at the carnival, but after losing his gig because of COVID-19, he was faced with different challenges. Holliday used the last of his savings to hire a contractor to fix his home, but he says the contractor took off with his money. Now, Nathan Jones from Delaware County Veteran Services has been working with Holliday over the past 5 years and had no idea the condition he was living in.
Living without water, sewage, trash, gas, the roof is barely holding on, and there's no drywall and no floorings in this house.
The Muncie Health Department decided to condemn Holliday's home. With nowhere to go, Jones knew he had to step up for the vet.
I put him up in my own personal rental to make sure he was out of the way, he could do his thing, staying warm, safe, fed. Now that I know he's secure, I can focus on all the other stuff.
Not only has Jones provided Holliday with shelter, food, and even a new phone, he has also raised over $38,000 for Holliday to move back into his own home. Jones is currently working with multiple different organizations to help renovate Holliday's home. Jones believes that this is just scratching the surface of what the community can do for veterans like Holliday. In Muncie, Zach Jones, NewsLink, Indiana.
If you'd like to donate or help other veterans like John Holliday, please call 765-747-7810, or you can visit the GoFundMe page, Vietnam Veteran Home Repairs.
And the Rockville Center Diocese is now the biggest Roman Catholic diocese to file for bankruptcy. Church officials say it's to protect schools, but an attorney says it's trying to keep money away from sexual abuse survivors. Jennifer McLogan has the story.
It's difficult news for the faithful to hear. Financial pressures from payments to childhood victims of clergy sexual abuse is bankrupting the diocese. A staggering number of victims filing hundreds of lawsuits. Bishop John Barris addressed parishioners in a video.
Our goal is to make sure that all clergy sexual abuse survivors, and not just a few who were first to file lawsuits, are afforded just and equitable compensation. It is hoped that this offers survivors the possibility of some measure of healing from these horrific abuses.
The diocese is reassuring the community that by filing for Chapter 11 reorganization, it's confident that no parishes or schools will be affected and will continue to operate normally for the time being, though the diocese will have less money to help its struggling schools. We spoke with an attorney representing dozens of victims.
Many victims view the diocese filing bankruptcy as just an extension of the cover-up. But through litigation in the bankruptcy court, we're going to be able to determine what assets the diocese has, what assets they're hiding, and the billions of dollars they probably have in insurance coverage.
And the diocese is facing more than 200 sexual abuse lawsuits. Barry explains the litigation and coronavirus on the bankruptcy filing.
H&M plans to close 250 stores next year. The retail chain says the coronavirus pandemic played a role in increasing online shopping. H&M has 5,000 stores worldwide. The store closures account for 5% of their locations. Compared to last year, the company's CEO said sales declined in September, but she believes the worst is behind them and they will rebound after the pandemic.
And IKEA is removing all non-chargeable batteries from store shelves by October 2021. The retailer hopes to inspire customers to switch to rechargeable batteries and hopes to reduce waste and save money. The IKEA estimates the global waste can shrink by as much as 5,000 tons every year if their customers switch from alkaline to rechargeable batteries. However, the company is still keeping the lithium batteries on shelves.
Well, Lily, with H&M products moving out and stores closing and IKEA products moving off the shelves, a lot of things seem to be moving out. However, this dreary weather is just moving in. Ryan, what can you tell us?
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. Like could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back, taking a live look at campus right now. Chilly evening. What's the weather looking like, Ryan?
Well, it's actually looking pretty soggy out there right now. We have some passing showers coming into our area, but those showers are not going to stick around pretty long. Well, as we go through tonight, it's going to clear out. It's going to be pretty chilly, but first of all, temperatures is 52 degrees right now in Indianapolis, 48 degrees in South Bend, and 57 degrees in Evansville. As we go through, and you notice it's been also much chillier than it was at this time yesterday. As you see, it's 9 degrees cooler in Indianapolis, it's 11 degrees cooler in Muncie, and it's 12 degrees cooler in Bloomington at this hour. So we really have cooled off since we have at this time yesterday. And we also have to factor in those winds because it's also been pretty chilly. Not as windy right now, but it's still pretty breezy out there with northwest winds at 9 miles an hour, and it's west winds and Muncie at 6 miles an hour. Now, as you check out the 5-day trend for this week coming up, we got 59 degrees tomorrow, 60 degrees on Saturday. It's going to still pretty chilly as we go through this weekend into the early next week. But take a look at Tuesday. We are going to actually see a bit of a warming trend for a chance, and we are going to see those 70s come back into the area as we go into later on next week. As we check out PrecisionCast, again, you're not going to see too much in the area in the way of rain tomorrow. You might see some passing showers a little bit to our north tomorrow at around dinner at rush hour time. But again, there should not be too much of a threat to us. As a matter of fact, I don't think we're going to see too much in the way of rain tomorrow. It will actually just be more a mix of sun and clouds. For tonight, we have those showers in the area of low of 38 degrees, northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now for this weekend, we're going to see that Saturday will be the better of the 2 days to go out and take care of those plans, because Sunday, as you take a look right here, 58 degrees, and it's going to be pretty soggy as we go through the weekend. Now, as you see, I was also talking about those warmer temperatures. Look at this. As the next 8 to 14 days, we get above average temperatures, pretty much dominating the entire nature's heartland. And I know for those summer lovers, we don't have to worry about winter, fall quite just yet, because summer is making a bit of a comeback. Now take a look at this 7-day forecast. This weekend, 50s for highs, well below average for this time of the year. And look at 30s for lows, 60s for highs on Saturday, 60 for a high on Saturday, and actually it's going to be like that for most of the first part of the week. But take a look at Wednesday and Thursday. Those 70s actually return to our area, and I know a lot of people is going to be pretty happy with that. Those summer lovers as we go through this weekend and into early next week and later next week. And also, I see that as well later on next week. We're going to see those 70s actually return back to the area. So those people who love summer, don't quite give up on it just quite yet, because we still got some 70s on the way.
Yeah, I was just excited about the 50s and 60s. I'm excited to get my rain boots and coat out, and so, but it's good that it's not super, super cold.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank you, Ryan. A Ball State volleyball player from California speaking out on the California wildfires.
And an update on the high school football in and around Delaware County. Stay with us.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Weeknights, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather. We've got the latest news headlines.
Freezing temperatures have set in all the way down in Louisiana.
One man dead after flooding in Venice, Italy.
Up to the minute weather conditions.
Cold temperatures are the story this morning.
And of course, lots of fun.
It is not funny.
What on earth is happening there?
I feel sorry for the little guy.
I've got my socks on. Annie with her curly hair, which is actually never curly. Join us Friday mornings at 8 on Facebook Live.
Welcome back. I'm Vincent Mortorano with sports. Life in California is changing. The wildfires burning. NewsLink Indiana's Darius Black sat down with one Ball State volleyball player from California to get her perspective.
This week, I got the chance to dig into what life was like growing up in Modesto, California for junior Ball State volleyball player Catherine Strack.
Everyone thinks it's so different from here, but really it's not. Like, the only difference is, like, yeah, there's a beach, which is great and all, but if you don't live right next to it, then you don't get to it very often. But, I mean, I would say that, like, one big difference is, like, how close, like, all your neighbors are.
A difference she spoke on was the California wildfires and its effects.
People here don't understand, like, that there's a fire season, I guess. When people said that the wildfires were pretty bad right now, I was like, oh, yeah, it's the middle of fire season. And, like, 3 girls on the team were like, fire season? Like, you have fire season? And I was like, yeah, you guys got snow days, we got ash days. Like, there were certain days, like, you didn't go to school because the air quality was so bad, like, you were supposed to stay inside.
The junior volleyball player also touched on her experience being away from home.
Kind of tough, just because so many people I know are going through, like, rough times over there and having to either evacuate or having to be told to, like, you need to be ready to evacuate at any time. And it's like, in here, you don't have any, like, I don't understand it because I'm not over there anymore.
Although Strack does miss her home in Modesto, the Muncie community has welcomed her with open arms and made sure the nest is a place she could call home as well. In Muncie, Darius Black, NewsLink, Indiana.
Although the pandemic has canceled this season for the team, Strack still hoping the team can return to defend its MAC championship. Now to the gridiron. Except for a slip-up against Mount Vernon, Delta football having a successful year so far. The Eagles sitting at 4-1 going into their homecoming game this weekend against Pendleton Heights. With around 84 receiving yards and 66 tackles each game. Delta looking forward to the future and what they're hoping to be a successful postseason. Head coach Chris Overholt taking a look at the overall picture, saying the main goal, improving as a unit.
We just have to get better every single day. Every day we have to come in with an attitude that we're going to improve upon something. Even if that's something so small as just our communication on defense or our run game recognition, you know. but we just have to get better every day.
Coming kickoff will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Tomorrow, NewsLink Indiana will have all your local high school football coverage. Let's take a look at this week's matchups. Friday night at 7 o'clock, we have Muncie Central taking on Marion and Blackford at Eastbrook. Later on at 7:30, Delta hosting Pendleton Heights for their homecoming game. Yorktown traveling to Greenfield Central, Westdale hosting Tinley, and Newcastle playing Mount Vernon. You can keep up with all the live scoring updates for the game on our Twitter at NLI Sports. Now, I don't know about you guys, but there is a lot of football games to be played tomorrow, and I am very excited for all of them.
Yeah, that's so exciting that everybody can, have that football season back, and that's really cool that the Delta quarterback is considering Ball State coming here, so that's super cool.
Absolutely.
And next, we've got our anchor picks and a final check of the weather when we come back.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. A group of women near Boston are getting through the pandemic one stitch at a time. The Tuesday Pandemic Knitting Circle get together every week at a town square in Norwood, Massachusetts. The goal is to knit with friends and have a little sanctuary from all the pressures of the pandemic. Some of the members say that socializing is really important these days. The group started meeting outside after bans on indoor gatherings, but since then they haven't missed a single week. The group is still looking for a place to knit when it gets colder.
And a South Carolina woman wrote an obituary for her golden retriever goes viral. Sally Hammett's obituary for her 7-year-old dog Charlie went viral thanks to her design background. She put together a mock newspaper-style obituary just days after Hammett's Twitter post. Popular pages such as Re-Rate Dogs and Thoughts of Dogs reposted. Hammett's social media post has since inspired many dog owners to put together a remembrance for their dogs as well. Such an inspiring story. I know your story is super inspiring too.
Yes, I was so excited when I saw that story. It's so heartwarming that all these women were coming together just to do something they really enjoyed and to find a little peace during these times. And I'm really hoping that they can still continue to get together, especially with those outdoor bans. So, Ryan, will they continue to get together?
Well, actually, it's going to be pretty chilly this weekend. Highs are only going to be in the 50s. For most of this weekend. We might touch 60 on Saturday, and it's going to be like that for most of the early part of the week. But 70s, good news for everybody, 70s actually returned back into our area. So summer is not quite over yet.
Well, I know that I was asking for sweater weather last Thursday, but now I am really excited that I'm hearing maybe some of these summer weather is going to be coming back.
Yeah, not super cold, not super hot, so looks like some good weather.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow morning for our sister show, Waking Up with Cardinal Weather, streaming live on their Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.